The tension inside the Montecito mansion had already been mounting for weeks, but nothing could prepare Meghan Markle for the revelation that would shatter what little trust remained in her marriage. It came quietly, suspicion first, then a growing unease. Harry had been staying up later than usual, often retreating to the garden, or to a closed room under the guise of late-night reading or meditative silence. But Meghan's instincts, sharpened by years of scrutiny and betrayal, told her something wasn't right. Had she discovered next would send shockwaves through her carefully guarded #EdWorld. According to insiders close to the Sussex household, Meghan found traces of secret communication between Harry and none other than Catherine, the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton. At first, it was nothing more than an unusual log on Harry's private phone. A call made at 1:14 a.m. Another at 12:47. And always to the same UKNU #MB ending in digits she recognized. It was Kate's personal line, the one she had used during happier days, back when the Fab Four illusion still held. The discovery sent Meghan spiraling. She had long believed that her relationship with Kate had been irreparably severed after the explosive Oprah interview, where she detailed how Kate had made her cry before the wedding. In Meghan's eyes, Kate had always been party of the institution that coldly shut her out. Yet here was Harry, her husband, speaking to the very man Meghan viewed as the palace's most passive-aggressive enforcer. What shocked Meghan even more was the frequency and intimacy of the conversations. These weren't formal or distant exchanges. According to leaked transcript #S from a source who allegedly accessed a portion of the call log, Harry and Kate spoke almost nightly, sometimes for minutes, sometimes for over an hour. They spoke of the children, of shared memories, and of the late Queen. There were whispers of grief, of regret, and, perhaps most devastating to Meghan, of reconciliation. Insiders claim that when confronted, Harry didn't deny it. He reportedly admitted to reaching out to Kate as a way of healing #old wounds and reconnecting with family after the chaos of Dad's passing. Meghan, however, saw it differently. To her, it was betrayal, an emotional affair with the very person who had stood silently while she was vilified. The fallout was immediate. Meghan reportedly stormed out of the house that night, taking refuge in a nearby hotel with her two children. Sources say she refused to speak to Harry for 48 hours. Tensions hit a boiling point during a family therapy session, where Meghan accused Harry of being mentally half in England while pretending to live a Califo #RNEA life. She was furious that, even now, the royals still held emotional power over him, and that it was Kate, of all people, who had slipped back into his world. But what Meghan may not have realized was how deep the bond between Harry and Kate had once run. Long before Meghan, it was Kate who helped guide Harry through the tumultuous years after Diana's death. She had been the steady sister-in-law, the unofficial peacemaker between brothers when tensions flared. For Harry, reaching out to her wasn't about disloyalty, it was about finding a family #IR anchor in the storm. No #W, palace insiders are watching closely. The rekindled connection between Harry and #Kate has sparked speculation of a possible thaw between the brothers. William, still deeply angry #why over recent events and the role Harry ma #why have played in the chaos following their father's death, has remained distant. But Kate's involvement could shift the dynamic. She's long been known as the quiet diplomat behind the scenes, and her nightly conversations with Harry may be part of a broader, carefully managed effort to bring him back into the royal fold. Meanwhile, Meghan is said to be regrouping. Hurt, humiliated, and increasingly isolated from Harry's shifting loyalties, she's reportedly begun re-evaluating her position, not just in her marriage, but in the broader narrative. The possibility of a second memoir has been floated. One that tells her version of what happened after the Netflix specials, the podcasts, and the palace rejections. A story that ends not in triumph, but in betrayal. Those close to the Sussexes say things are fragile. Meghan feels blindsided. Harry feels misunderstood. And somewhere across the ocean, Kate continues to answer his calls, calm, composed, and perhaps quietly steering the winds of royal destiny back toward home. In the end, Meghan's discovery didn't just crack the foundation of her marriage. It exposed a painful truth: no matter how far they run, the shadows of the crown still follow. # and some ties.